It's a boy. Sorry, I was asleep through it. And he's very dark. Could be black or bay, but I'm thinking it might be black. Beautiful. Yeah, sorry everyone. I have been dealing with allergies and headaches and just haven't had very good the last 3 days, and then this might be part of the reason she was feeling it too. But I'm going to send out an announcement and get Taylor out here to make sure things are going well. Oh, there's Taylor. He looks nice. Everything turned out fine. He just needs his, he needs a belt this one. Looks black. Has to dry off a little bit.
Hi, Mom.
He's really big.
Yes, he is.
It kind of reminds me of...
Give me a break here for a minute. I'm helping here for a moment.
Yeah. Did you get it? There you go, baby. You have your baby. So you have it around 5:30.
She decided to eat the placenta?
No, I pulled it aside here. It's,
Okay.
It's in this feed pan. She passed it like a minute before I came out here. Well, we're getting used to sleeping through them, I guess. I should have stayed awake after I woke up.
Well, I tried, but 5 in the morning is where I usually can't stay awake past.
I've been dealing with headaches and allergies, so I just haven't.
legs. Show me you got power. Stand on him here. Jeez, those are long. Come on, stand up on your legs in the seat. Sorry, I'm doing this because he wasn't even moving his hind legs when he was trying to stand. So. Come on. You gotta do this on your own. Get some strength. Come on. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. At least move a little. Make sure your legs work. Sorry, concern is just not really worried about it right now. I can feel some muscle strength. Sometimes horses have neurological problem, like in the neck, that affects their hind strength and mobility and stuff. And so I just was curious about that because of the way he's working his hind when he was trying to stand up. But no, we're just going to give him a little bit of time, see if he can strengthen it up on his own. Like that. Those things are so long. Okay. We'll go ahead and work those out.
just so long.
so her placenta is fine. And just gotta keep an eye on the foal and make sure he gets up and walks around. Oh man, getting colostrum from her is gonna be interesting. So what I mean by that is if foal doesn't get colostrum soon enough, they won't develop, they don't get the antibodies from the mare. There's a window before the intestine is no longer able to absorb the antibodies in from the colostrum. So the longer before he feeds, the fewer antibodies he gets. It's a 24-hour window. The sooner the better. So we'll just watch. If I have to come out and draw, milk the mare, or use a suction to get colostrum out, I also have a drenching tool to then get it so the foal consumes it. So right now is just keep an eye on him, make sure he builds up the strength in his hinds to stand up, and I don't think he'll have a problem nursing. You just have to watch to make sure she'll stand for him instead of keep spinning, to keep an eye on him and licking him. Leaving him down for a while, he uses them, yeah, he kind of started to stand up. Oh. May have to do a little bit of movement with his legs and stuff. And
yeah, they said it was very fast. I don't know if it's like done.
Sorry, Mom. Don't bite me. Come on. problem moving his jaw around. His suction isn't.
Amazing, we'll try it again in a while. If he isn't able to engage like he's nursing, then yeah, we may have to go through that process with the ropes to see if he's in case he's a demi-foal.
Like 18 feet long.
I mean, you can move them, but
Right, yeah.
I think they just, I'll get some, a towel, we can rub them down.
There you go. Put your muscle into it. I'm moving it more than before, so. I don't think he's a demi-foal. Hi, Mom. You just have to deal with people. So his legs are just so long. There you go. Yeah, put a little force in. And his slippers are still on, they're not helping at all. There you go. Right. Perfect. He has slowly building his strength. That's what I was hoping to get stronger.
No, he was definitely holding his tail down. I don't think there's,
Right, yeah, not a major neurological problem, because he can, yeah, he himself is holding his tail, has control of it. I don't think he's a dummy. You can put your finger in his mouth. He doesn't have a super strong suction suck reflex, but he moves his mouth like crazy and gets his tongue around. And
you're supposed to lick him. I think that helps stimulate him. Oh,
he was.
it's time to wake up.
I'm afraid you're just gonna bite me.
And she's not gonna bite you. Oh, there you go. There you go. You can try.
Do it. Warm up, keep you dry. That's right, stand up on your own. Look, use your own muscle. Don't be lazy. He's doing a lot better than he was.
At first.
Yeah.
Those legs.
Under you. Yay! Do it again.
I'm definitely going to say he's black.
There. Yes.
I don't think you're any other color but black. Whatever. You figure it out.
Do it one more time.
That's not a good place to go.
Use those vessels. Come on.
He is tall. It's like, I guess we're growing big here now.
I'm gonna lift your front up. You're gonna have to use your hind foot. And I'm not putting pressure where the umbilical cord is and going off his rib. I'm on his rib cage, so.
Maybe we gotta get some milk in him. I don't know. He's,
You gotta work, see? Tired? Ready? Come on, you can do it. Don't give up. There, finally. I think his left's a little weaker than his right. He didn't fall over when he shook his head.
yeah, still, the whole idea of demi-pole is on my mind.
Just face plant, guy. I believe I have some thick cotton rope, or I don't know if it's cotton, but thick rope.
rope.
He's taking some steps. Yeah, the neurological issues is like a sign of dummy pulls. I don't think that.
I figured
What's the?
just forcing him to stand up for a little while. Well, yes, he's moving his hind legs a lot more now. We'll force him to actually use the muscles, and then they'll gain strength just through use. One more time, and then let it rest.
He got it a bit better that time.
Okay, see, yeah, you gotta use him. Lazy. And then next time he falls, I'll check his suction, his suck reflex. Hooray, yeah. His legs are so long. They aren't even healthy. They're like halfway there, like.
I'm wondering how we're growing him so big.
Help catch her and tie her up so we can milk her, just to make sure we get something in. There you go. Hey, good job, buddy. Yeah, to stimulate it. Just, there we go. All right, so he's active and alive. Let me just get my.
Colt. Just put that on because it's cold. And I know, you're like, what's this? I'm like, what is that? So, Perseus, we might have to milk you. I know. That means you have to cooperate a little bit. Cooperate. Don't do anything down here. I'm trying to be cautious. I'm thinking I need you to make sure he doesn't get stepped on while I try to get her altered. But let's try with her standing opposite of me.
Zero, just 0 1. She's gonna be easier than a mini donor. Milk. Ready? Hands are open, my fingers are warm.
Do you have a syringe?
I do, but this is a wider opening anyway, so it'll be easier for me to use to get it in there. Because I tossed the suction one that we made. It was really old and no longer working well.
Okay. Assuming what's going on with the mean old man back there.
Very small nipple. Take some pressure off.
job. Your turn. Dude, I don't have an udder bred to you. I do have Colostrum, though.
Cook them up a little. Oh, no. Seems more motivated now. At least from what I can see, but I don't know what's going on up front.
It is. Just trying to make sure he actually drinks all of it.
Someone's asking if we usually put hay down. Well, usually we do a lot of things, but in this case, our priority has shifted to making sure that this foal has energy. He's kind of being, he just doesn't have the vigor that we're used to with young foals. So, you know, give him colostrum, check the suck reflex. The suck reflex was a little weak. His hind end seems a little weak. So we're trying to give him some strength and energy to get up on his own. The shavings right now do give traction, but we can get some hay out here to add more. It's just they can also stumble foals when they're learning to walk. So there's there are pros and cons to everything. But having some bedding is better than no bedding at all. What's that?
Suck reflex is fine now. It's just getting where he will actually consume the amount that I give him.
Yeah. So as you can see, he's become a little, the milk has stimulated him a little bit more, so he's thrashing around a little more. Still something to keep an eye on.
He's actually moving his hind legs now.
Yeah.
Like when he was first born and everything from the hip up was moving around.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, he was, when I checked his sex, that tail was really hard to pull up, so he had the nerve response to that part, but, you know, just getting the whole system working. Yeah, maybe realizing that those back legs are still attached to him.
I will pick you up if that's what you want, but
That's good to see.
still.
But he's still pretty, he likes to put his back legs under him. So balance, I don't know what issue might be. some effort.
Go that way. Wait till he's able to get up. Problem is usually they can trip on the hair, like you said. Doesn't seem to have enough coordination yet to deal with hay.
I don't know if he's smacking his lips because he got some bedding in them, but no. Get on those feet, everyone's little guy.
Tiny bit left.
For people just tuning in, if you missed the birth, so did we. That's why we didn't send out an alert. I woke up around 2:30, and then I fell asleep around 4:30. And then Taylor's battery died on his phone, so he didn't get any alerts. And then I got a call from someone else who had missed it and woke me up. So,
I was up till about 5.
yeah, we
Finally fell asleep.
we failed miserably on this one by a lot of near misses. But hey, he's here, he's breathing. Now we're trying to get him to stand. He seems to be having some weakness, coordination issues, not very vigorous, so concerns of him being a dummy foal, that's what we were talking about. Keeping an eye on him, obviously the sooner you recognize symptoms of a dummy foal, the better you have a chance of correcting it. When we first checked his suck reflex, he wasn't really responsive, but he seems to have
Perked up.
perked up, and he's now moving his mouth a lot. He's moving his legs more. So just seems to have this slow, I'm out of the womb response.
And then he doesn't coordinate standing with his mouth. Get up, boy.
Oh, I may have to do another room.
Colostrum in a little while.
I don't know what your definition of a little while is, but I have to work in an hour.
Less than an hour. 30 minutes.
Okay.
Dude, you worked out that jaw and you worked out those legs.
Perseus, there aren't very many mares that have produced two black colts. Her first colt was a black colt. Little guy. Try to get up. Just sitting there.
Come on again.
Dummy foals can get better if you know the right treatment and do it right away.
You have a few hours.
Dummy foals, if you don't treat them, eventually pass away.
The treatment, you wrap a rope around them in a specific pattern, and then you have to tighten it and then release it, and it stimulates
Birthing.
yeah, it simulates the birthing process for them, which then activates whatever part of their brain wasn't activated, which, it's interesting that having the forces and sensation of being born has such an effect on basically getting their brain working.
Stay standing.
Yay, he's trying to find it.
I know. He's just like spirit, only not as muscly. He's just, oh good. He's lifting his nose to try to find something.
Make cheek, put him to the back so we can get something before he falls.
Maybe it'd be easier to move Perseus, but
This way. There you go. That's...
he's putting his legs under him, really. This colt's going to take a lot of work, I think.
Did you get it? Oh. Pretty much you're right there, guy.
Almost. Not quite there. Almost there.
Just stand still.
If he can stand still. He was getting very close.
Well, you did that on your own. At least he pushed with his hinds that time.
Oh, hey, that was good to see. He finally trying to get up on his own with his back legs.
And he's really active now, and he's trying to get her
really active. Well, I'm trying to find it, he just really stale.
Yeah. I'm going to repeat it for people just tuning in. Don't feel bad about missing it. Taylor and I did too, by a window of 1 hour. Less than 1 hour. He was born...
minutes, wasn't it?
You said you fell asleep somewhere around 5. He was born around 5:40.
Oh.
And I was woken up minutes after he was born. So it's like, oh, I've got a foal. Okay, well, sorry everybody, I didn't send out an alert. I didn't send out a text alert because it costs money to send out a text alert, and so I just sent an email out, which is free, so people will check their email. I realize I still have to get the recording of Princess's birth up, but as you see, I have a problem pulling up my pants, so I have to clip out any shots of me mooning everybody. Not exactly a pleasant sight.
Did it all on his own.
Oh wow, he got up. Now we just gotta find the milk on your own, and we can relax a little
I
bit.
can go to work and I can go to sleep so I don't have a seizure.
Yeah, we don't want you to have a seizure.
I'd like to go to sleep now, please.
You'd like to?
These really late nights really cause havoc. I've been having them like every morning.
Well, we gotta figure something out with, maybe like my headaches and everything predicting foaling, like within 3 days. Brenda, how bad are you feeling? Like, just, I'm gonna sleep for the rest of my life, how bad I'm feeling? There you go.
Get up, you can do it.
Come on, come on, come on. Oh. Don't give up.
Well, okay, so she's good. She kind of guides him a little bit. She stands there for it. He's going nuts trying to catch the teat while he's there.
Maybe he does need another dose to kind of stimulate a little more. It's only 7:06, but I don't know when you want to try that.
I'm going to see if I can hold him there and have him nurse from her and get his next one that way.
We don't know if we have any more foals due this year. However, we did have a few late exposures where I have yet to determine if there is a foal resulting from those exposures late in the year last year. So could possibly have something from summer or rose. I don't know. It's really hard to tell. It was easy to tell with her, and it was easy to tell with Princess because they were just so wide. But the others, because we bred late, and Summer's a maiden mare, it may not show up very readily until right before, like a month before she's due. So I'll go check, feel for foal kicks or something, but I kind of feel like this is the last foal of the year, and we're trying to focus on getting mares bred for next year. So we tried breeding as many of the minis early this year as we could so that next year we'll have an earlier foaling season. But, okay, I heard something.
A little bit. You can do it. Go back here.
But I'll have to sort of make another announcement separately. I don't know. We'll be working on finishing that stall though and putting Princess and Starlight in there. And yeah, it would be nice to get a filly. So I kind of hope that we have another foal on the way, but it is what it is.
Don't bite me.
You're biting you. You did have a little bit of tooth already growing. unlike Starlight, who is a month old and still didn't have teeth. So I think Starlight was prematurely born.
We need more than that guy.
We usually do live cover for our horses. AI has an additional expense that's been hard for us to justify when you have stallions present. We do have some frozen semen on hand for the Caspians that we could use, but we have to get a vet to time it because the stallion semen belongs to a stallion that is deceased, so if we waste it, there's no more that's going to be made. The other thing is we do have Izzy, who our only option at this point is AI, but we were planning on doing AI this year, however ran into a lot of expenses with Starlight needing to go to the hospital for colic, and then Leanne, who is currently at Washington State University for treatment for her legs. Leanne is doing well, by the way, and we do have a GoFundMe for her, or you can call Washington State University teaching hospital, veterinary teaching hospital, and pay directly towards that account. Well, look, he's under her. I haven't really been bugging people about the whole funding thing. Everyone might have a fatigue of us asking, oh, hey, help us with this, help us with that. But we really do appreciate all those who have contributed so far. It gives us hope that we can continue doing this because, quite honestly, this year has been a huge expense, and everything that everyone has done for us has really helped us have confidence that we can continue. Much to Taylor's disappointment, I'm sure, huh, Taylor? But, oh, we're going to do foaling some more.
I love staying up for weeks on end and then having seizures. That's my favorite.
Maybe we need to work on updating our house and just having someone live with us to take Taylor's place. I'm sure one person watching would be willing to live in our
live with us.
Yeah, live in our pigsty. I mean, our wonderful house. We have a child, so it is definitely a lived-in home. Okay, I'm going to take this lead rope. I'll be back quick. Just take these out. That's so I can have my freedom and you can have yours a little bit. But I'll leave it over here in case we need it again.
Do it. I believe in like Gumby.
He has slippers that are twice as long as his feet.
And they're just finally starting to feather.
I know people have offered to live with us before. There's like a little bit of, okay, that was a horse. I know people have offered to live with us before. There's just like, at one point I had exchange students living with us and they just couldn't handle it. And they left and went to another house and like made us sound like we were abusing them, when all we asked them to do was just clean up after themselves. And, oh, you want to go to this party? Well, help us pick manure out of the yard. And that was like, oh, that was the worst. They were city girls, so it was probably traumatic for them. But, yeah, our house was built in the 20s, 1920s. So it's almost 100 years old. And there's some quirks that it has. But the biggest quirk that it has right now, of course, is that Madison likes to keep it a mess and have her toys everywhere. And then the quirk that we just barely fixed was we couldn't run the toaster and the heater at the same time without blowing a fuse, so I had to turn off the heater to turn on the toaster. And then finally we got that electrical fixed at the end of the winter when I wasn't using the heater anymore, so we'll see if it truly was a fix. But yeah, there's also living with this person that you have to deal with if you live in our house.
I don't want to live with me, so
He may seem
good
fine
luck.
on camera, but he's got his idiosyncrasies, and you'll just see me trying to do this a lot. Patience, lower expectations. But if you enjoy cleaning, we'll enjoy having you at the house.
I don't know anyone who enjoys
Your mom.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm just looking at questions. Wanting to answer. Sorry if we're muddying up the birth and this whole beautiful moment. I know we get comments all the time. Leave the mare alone. Let them bond. You're disturbing them. Well, we're not really disturbing her at the moment, but it may be a little concern. We're just here to ensure that this foal will be able to nurse and stand on his own, which he hasn't been able to do yet. So we're hanging out. Taylor's cleaning up. I'll be here to answer your questions until, in another 15 minutes, we're going to try to attempt to milk the mare again if he's still not up. Give him more colostrum, and then give him another half an hour to see what he does. Then I have to go to work. I don't know if we have any 4-H kids out here. There's not very many children in a very wide radius from us, like, I don't know, 5 miles. You might hit one kid, other than Madison. But we live in an older demographic, so a lot of the children that were here have graduated high school and left home already. We live a few houses away, and I guess that would be a few blocks away from someone who has grandchildren that visit, and Madison has played with them. But, we haven't investigated the whole 4-H thing yet, and part of that is due to time. I work full-time, and Taylor's Taylor. He has his problems, yes, that affect his sleep patterns, and so he's not really going to be a routine, reliable person when it comes to getting someone to an event. Usually any event relies on me, so when when Madison will want to do something, it's sort of my initiative to take time from work, take time from everything else, and then carve it out for Madison and do it. So all celebrations happen because of me, all outings happen because of me, and it's not that Taylor doesn't help because he doesn't like to do these things, although that the not liking it may be related to a different problem he has, but he has a problem with his executive functioning and being able to prioritize and plan things out, and almost needs someone to do it for him. So why not 4-H? Just because it's one more thing on my list of things to do, and I just need more of me to go around. If I could, just clone myself, then things would be great, except I'd probably disagree with myself a whole lot. Oh, good. We're getting more action here. I think that Takahira's not going to bother Perseus a whole lot.
We'll find out in a few hours. We laid back Stallion, and she doesn't seem to care. Dude, carpe diem. Get up there. Got full udder waiting.
Ozzy says hello. She's the one who called me, by the way.
Yes. Good job.
Oh, and stay up. Whoa!
Like a giraffe.
Like a
Graceful.
Sorry, it's a relief to see him get up on his own and stay up. Now, kind of gives me a little more hope. Taylor was telling me not to name him until he started to behave like a healthy foal, which is really hard, because I really wanted to name him. Oh, he navigated around his mom's leg.
Yep, just stand there, Mom. Don't be in the way.
She's had 2 foals before, so she should know what to do. I'm going to stand here. Yep, she's straightening the one leg and cocking the other to give him access.
Get her hip up high.
Yeah.
Nudging his hind.
Yep, she knows exactly what to do. And he's moving his back legs around her, so that means that he's aware of where his legs are. So I saw him. I think we've made contact.
Brenda the Predator. Checking out the foal.
Mooning everybody at the same time. It looked like he did it. Going forward, yeah. Yep. He found it.
You've been successful.
I'd say that's successful. He's on tape number 2, one closest to me.
Yeah, he kept having trouble hitting the one closest to him. When he switches sides, it'll be the other way around.
Yeah, he's licking them. I saw his tongue on them, so I think that he knows.
All right. Maybe take her halter off here in a little bit, and he's done.
I'm hungry now.
Me too.
Maybe I'll go to the store and grab some bread, make some French toast. Which isn't French, but I grab some French bread, make some French toast with that. Make a double French bread.
I think they sell brioche there.
Oh, he's licking his little lips. He's got pink tongue and he's so cute. Can I name him now?
Yeah.
His name is Cascadia Bucephalus.
His ears are shaped like horns. Holy cow.
That's his nickname. Not Eucephalus, Bucephalus.
Bucephalus.
I'll spell it.
Bucephalon was named after Bucephalus, the horse of Alexander the Great. Ox head.
Which, when you said even his ears are shaped like horns, holy cow, I'm like, holy cow shall be his nickname.
When you look at him, when he's got them straight towards you, they just...
Yeah. Did you just kick yourself out of there? Now you're stuck. Here we go again. Bucephalus starts with a B.
Bucephalus. Bucephalus.
Thank you. Shauna corrected it.
She really doesn't care.
He is pitch black. I haven't seen any white on him. So he was,
He looks a little gray now because of the bedding.
well, also the full coat is a little bit lighter, kind of like that camo, full camo. So he's going to have a darker strip along the back. And then when he sheds out, that lighter hair is going to grow in black. There's no gray in either parent. And the chance of getting a black foal was 12.5%. So this was the least likely scenario we were going to get out of the two. We were more likely to get a chestnut and then a bay and then a black. So I'm actually quite happy and impressed that we got a black colt. It's our first black Caspian foal for our farm. And I guess it's always nice to have one.
One though isn't Gideon.
Gideon is a black stallion, yeah. And he's old enough to breed this year.
Speaking of which, take a look at his nostril, his right nostril.
Did he scratch it on something?
I think so. Yeah, there's a little white line.
Yeah.
It's not snot or anything, so.
No.
I just don't recall if he had a white in his nostril normally.
No. But, yeah, sometimes scarring can lead to white spots on a dark-colored horse. So, those aren't genetic, though. He's got
What, scars aren't
two
genetic?
whorls. He's got one right at the crown of his head and then one right in the forefront of his head. But I guess maybe a lot of horses have that whorl right where they're,
Usually in the center. If you
well, that whorl right where their forelock is.
yes.
And then, but he's cute.
All right, well, we're going to take this off.
Oh, you're going to try?
I'm not gonna try. Yeah, see, she has no problem with me cleaning. Every time I come to clean, she'd come up and like sniff me and stuff, but then I would try to, do anything with her. She just was not happy with me.
Yeah, quit snorting. I got you now. Yeah, she was doing the same thing to me. I just didn't let her get away with it. Like, oh no, it's Brenda. She's determined. Taylor's very cautious and gentle with horses. There you go, sweetie. You might have to get him to stand up again. For the rest, you want me to put some hay?
go get it since your allergies are so bad right now.
They are. I took an allergy pill yesterday and just fell asleep. The allergy pill did not make me sleepy, but the allergies were. There's such a high pollen count right now that I'm feeling it in my lungs, which only happens when it's really high.
She's allergic to grass.
I'm allergic to grass and to tree pollen, but I'm not. But when it comes to grass, I sneeze. So I knew it was tree pollen. And also when there's just so much of it in the air, there's just no way to filter it out. So that's why we gotta get their air filters going. So as far as I know, in Caspians, there's only been one other Bucephalus named, and that was one of the, I think much earlier over in the UK. So he's the only Bucephalus in the United States. He's also the correct color for Bucephalus, which was purported to be a black horse, and the other Bucephalus in Caspians was a bay. I guess they couldn't help themselves, or they thought they had a black horse when he was born, and then turned into a bay horse. But he's definitely black. Really exciting for us. Just hope that he gets a little more energetic. We've got to keep an eye on him. Taylor's going to put hay bedding in here, and he'll come in to check on him. But we're going to need to make sure that he continues to nurse, that he doesn't start to have any declines. Just sort of this really critical hour for the newborns. Well, I guess it's been more than an hour now, but it's a critical moment where, you have to check the health of the mare, the health of the foal, make sure everything's going the right direction. Because I know that there are a lot of people out there who think, just leave them alone, let nature take course,
Nature's not nice.
Nature can be a fill in the blank. Mother Nature gives and takes, and we just
doesn't care.
Right, doesn't care. Mother Nature is chaos, so chaos can go any direction. Genetics and instinct will lead them in the right direction, but sometimes that's just not enough, and then they need a little human intervention to help. So the whole birthing process happened without us, which was great, preferred, of course, that we don't have to intervene with that. We normally haven't had to intervene with the Caspians anyway. It's mostly been the minis, because minis are a man-made miniature horse. Although that could be argued with the Caspian. Nevertheless, horses are a domesticated species, and they've been domesticated for thousands of years. He got up on his own, that's good. And so they are entitled to help. We have them in, once you put a fence around them, once you put them in a stall, once you do anything that is not natural, that's when you kind of say, yeah, nature can take its course, but nature is outside and humans are inside. We have the ability to help, and that's our intent. We're helping. We're not trying to make this worse. We're trying to make this better. And I'm making a speech about it because I've seen the comments. There's just so many comments that not on the chat, but like comments on the recordings of the birds. It's just, you can't respond to them all, but you can just sort of make your pitch. It's like, hey, we get into trouble if we don't, and we get into trouble if we do, so we're just going to do what we do, and you can just watch.
Yeah. Letting Mother Nature take its course is so important. You'd never go see a doctor, and you wouldn't do anything with science, and
Yeah.
on and on and on. So
Let the infection kill you. Yeah.
people care about avoiding
Right. If,
avoiding nature and allowing it to take its course.
yeah, if Mother Nature took its course, Starlight would be gone. Well,
And with Leanne.
and Leanne would be gone. Yeah. But I came in and I rescued Starlight one time by breaking the sack. We rescued Leanne by helping her get colostrum. We took her to the hospital when she had a joint infection. There's just so many things we've done to help them. So it kind of hurts when people say, just let Mother Nature take its course. I'm like, there's nothing that we do to make this go in a bad direction. And there's no intent if people see that. We're not intending for a bad direction. So we appreciate the supporters that have been there with us for through the years, and thank you for coming back and watching and supporting this. Caspians, I want to say Caspians are an extremely rare breed. They are a breed from the Persian area of the world, mostly from Iran. And I say mostly because some Caspians were added to the mix that were found outside of the region of Iran. What is a Caspian? A Caspian is essentially a miniature Persian horse. It is de-extinction of a horse that existed in like the
Extinction.
yes, de-extinction. The term de-extinction is one I picked up from a paper written by a doctor.
They were attempting to do a reproduction of a horse from a couple thousand years ago.
Yeah, well, that's why I call it de-extinction, making a new one that's similar to the old one.
Most people don't think of that when you say.
No, that's because it's a new word that. Look, I will share the article. It's really fascinating. It bends your brain and breaks it in half. Because we have this structure of what a species is, of what extinction means. And in this paper, it just basically reveals that evolution is a process of extinction and new animals coming along to fill that gap. So what extinction is an animal disappears and another one, and then evolution is another one fills in the gap. And when man comes along and tries to fill in the gap artificially, that is called de-extinction. So this little horse that was depicted in reliefs was no longer around, at least they thought, until, aristocrats go and search the fields and find that they actually still exist. It's sort of like researchers going out there and finding, oh, this organism is still existing in the natural world. We thought it was extinct. It's until you get someone with money out there to actually investigate the world that you discover that those genes are still out there, that those organisms are still out there. So they make the case that these horses are ancient, ancient from relics of the past. I just say that they are a mixture of all of the animals, all the horses that were just naturally running around in Iran because the herds were feral. It was like your Mustangs in the United States. You have your small ones, and you have or Brumbies in Australia. You have your small ones, you have your tall ones. Well, someone went out and they just gathered up the small ones, and then voila, Caspian was made. So to me, that's an intentional selection of a population, not actually taking in the full population. And that selection process was very similar to how we got the miniature horses that we have at our farm today. That was also a selection of the smallest horses they could find of another breed. So
this was an attempt
yes.
to reproduce the horses in Persia
right.
a couple thousand years ago.
But just reproduce the small ones, because at the same time that, King Darius had small horses pulling chariots, and small horses were useful for pulling chariots when there were chariots. The large horses were not. So there were large horses and small horses coexisting at the same time, even then. And there are even now, small horses and big horses.
Makes me think about the armored horses the Seleucids had. Sorry, they came after they replaced the Persian Empire. They were part of it, and they came one or two dynasties
Even-
later
right.
had larger horses that were armored, and they basically were Middle Eastern knights.
Right. We should just write a book, right? The interesting thing is Greek and Persia had a lot of relationships going on and wars going on. And so even, I shouldn't say Greek, I meant Greece. Greece had their own small horse. And Persia had a small horse. And it's no coincidence to me that this happened because of these relationships that they had through gene flow of the horse going back and forth. And Bucephalus was most likely a small horse because the Greek were small people at the time. So, are they still? We'll have to look at the averages. Everyone's been getting a little taller since that early era. But there are reliefs of Alexander's tombs. Alexander's tomb has reliefs on it of small horses in fights and war and larger riders riding them. So it would look much like me getting on Perseus here. My feet might be dangling past her belly. Her height isn't very tall compared to me. So this is relative to those reliefs. And so you see this and there's even another breed called a Scarian horse that is a Greek breed and located on an isolated island off the coast of Greece, Skios. And they look so much like the Caspian, but they're not related because the Caspian has interbred so much more with horses outside of their, well, they just weren't isolated. So they didn't have that bottleneck, and the Scarian horse did have a bottleneck.
Mm.
So genetically they're different, but they look very much the same. Just goes to show that horses will have very few variations amongst horses. Like it seems like we make them tall and fat or muscular. We can make them small and but there's not.
Horse is a horse.
Yeah, the horse is a horse, of course.
Of course.
What was I getting at?
Change the size and shape of a horse.
We can only do so much change with horses, whereas dogs, you can almost manipulate anything on a dog. Short legs, long legs, big jowls, floppy ears, pointy up ears, and, smashed nose. I don't know, that might be mean to say, but it looks like a smashed nose. And you have all these different colorings with dogs, and long coat, short coat, curly coat, no coat. I don't know if there's a hairless dog.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, Chihuahuas. Little tiny dogs, really big dogs. I mean, we've been able to manipulate the dog genome far more than the horse genome. And they all started with where people think wolves. And then go from there.
No, they have a more gene
Plasticity?
Yeah.
Yeah, horses really...
Dogs are the ones that have the most out of all of the domesticated animals.
Yeah, and horses don't have that. They only can do so much. Even though when we made miniature horses, their teeth are still large. Things just, not everything downsized. So they have a lot of tooth problems. They have birthing issues. Much like a lot of domesticated animals, dogs, some dogs can only be born by cesarean, there's a rumor.
Then you have draft horses. Certain breeds have trouble birthing.
No, yeah.
Not problems that the minis have, but actual
And-
giving birth,
Right.
not having too large a foal and just being able to push them out and stuff like that.
Oh, like the contractions and...
Yeah.
Well, I see that Perseus is really engaged with her foal now, and he's standing and he's doing much better.
She's not tripping on the hay. She's
Yeah.
eating it, so I think we're good.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for watching. You can continue to watch and let us know if there's any issues.
You can't keep watching.
Yeah, the only thing that'll stop them is if we turn off the camera. But if you want to support the Caspian, we have set up a registry for Caspians that will register any Caspian in the world. You can you can support by becoming a sponsor, or you can just support by becoming a owner of a Caspian member. There's things that you could do to just be supportive. Spread the word. Tell people about the Caspian. I don't think very many people know about them.
Give me $3 million.
If we had $3 million, we could definitely do something. I don't think we have enough of that. We don't think we have that kind of support. We're not viral like that. We are just little bitty people on the whole YouTube space, and
Little mosquitoes in a swamp.
yeah, we're mosquitoes in a swamp, not even a fish. Not even, I would like to be a crocodile, but you know. I'd even go for an alligator.
Or a caiman.
Cayman work, yeah. I just want to upgrade from mosquito someday. I don't know if that'll happen in my lifetime, but it's been an adventure, to say the least. So I do encourage people to check out the Caspians. You can help us support them, support the breeders who support them. There is a lot of politics that has been involved in the old Caspian organizations that and even some of the breakaways, that there is this sense of trying to control who gets a Caspian and what happens to them. And this is something that I have noticed over the years. When you disagree with someone in a small group, they have these horses for the prestige or for some sort of power. Because it's so small and unknown, they can control narratives. They can do a lot of that. And it's really hard for new people to come in with innovative ideas, with ideas to get the Caspian notice. Our Caspians are probably the most visible in the entire world because we do this live stream and because of our presence online, that we weren't bashful to hide it from people. But with that comes criticism and people who have their ideas of how a horse should be raised, wanting to tell you that you're doing it wrong. And then they try to gang up on you and try to get you to leave. So the whole premise for me was, well, I left this one group, so I'm going with this one because I can still register my horses here. And then things with that group turned upside down, and they didn't want us either. The treatment was that we weren't valued, our contributions weren't valued, and they took any criticism as a reason to not do something. And then what we did find was that these particular people had a culture of gaslighting one another and manipulating each other. And I hate to talk about it like this right here in front of everybody, but this is my truth, and I'm speaking to it. I was treated very poorly by a lot of people, and there were some people that treated me respectfully, and that's how I have the Caspians I have now. But the one thing I didn't want to give them was this idea that I would give up. I am quite stubborn, much like everybody else in that group, but I am determined to keep my horses here and protect them and try to get people to be aware of the Caspian breed. What they're doing is harmful to the breed. What I'm trying to do is make people aware and enjoy the horse for the horse. But the registry I set up with others, it wasn't just a sole effort, although I led the effort. The registry I set up is meant to be very business-like and very inclusive. It will take half Caspians, so Caspian crosses. It will take Caspian crosses that have bred with Caspian crosses. It will take anybody's Caspian from any registry that exists. There are some stipulations on importing the Caspian into that stud book, but we try to go out and record any Caspian birth that we are made aware of, and put it in our pedigree, so that we can actually know what's out there. You can do inbreeding coefficients. You can look at the relations. You can see how many foals a horse had. You can see how many brothers or sisters a horse has. You can trace its lineage all the way back to who the foundation parents are, all in this interactive stud book that we put together. And there are others that are out there that have done similar things, but we really tried to put it all together in one place where you can join online with through an online shopping cart. You can download forms and submit those. You can do it electronically. You can do it by paper. You can have all these options for engaging with us. And we really tried to bring it to a modern world point of view. And I worked really hard, spent a lot of hours to develop this, because I think that the others just won't appeal to newcomers. If the pattern has been, and it has been, that someone new comes along, they stick around for like 2 years, 4 years, and overall, I haven't seen anyone new stick around longer than 5. They seem to have the honeymoon period where they're wooed and they're treated like they're so grateful that they're there and helping, and then something happens in the dynamic, there's a disagreement, and then people get nasty. And instead of learning to disagree and being willing to accept that there's other opinions out there, they clamp down and try to become controlling, and the demeaning comments come along, and that's the first phase of trying to get you to comply. And that, no one really responds well to that. I particularly do not respond well to people calling me names, and that's usually how they trigger me. And then when I react to that, that's what they use my reaction as a reason to not like me, which is classic psychological abuse. So I'm going into detail about what the Caspian community has been like from my own experience. There are a few individuals that have been very altruistic and have sidestepped, and they do a wonderful job with not interacting or engaging with these negative comments and negative treatments, but they're also not an ally. They're like HR in a business. They're there to try to stop the arguing, but they're not there to try to correct anything. They're just stop the hemorrhaging. But that's all said. I had a situation where I have a herd of Caspians, and I knew what was going on, and there's just this deep-seated distrust and dishonesty within the people who are leading the breed. And all this talk has always led to, maybe we start our own registry. I mean, this isn't a new idea. I had been part of a group that was thinking about it before, but most of that group has dispersed, and we're trying to engage them again. But I think that the Caspians was just too much drama for people, and when it gets to be so much drama, you have to think about yourself and leave. But I also think about my horses because I'm very passionate about them. They technically have other owners now involved because I've partnered with other people and say, hey, this is your Caspian now, and I'm going to take care of it for you. So I call them my horses. I'm more of a steward now, and I bring them into the world, and we all use the Cascadia farm name, and it's a nice way to go. So I think that I'm just trying to tell everybody who's listening, I'm captive audience. I don't know, you can tune me out. Just put me on mute. But Caspians really need help. And that's why we set up this registry at Caspian.horse. It's called the Caspian Horse Breeders Association. So it's a got a focus on breeding, and we want to award that, reward that, champion that. We have an annual award that's being produced. It's been cast that we have the ability to award this year, called the Talia Award, named after Talia, who had her full lilty here, who's also named Talia, which is why we went with the Talia Award. But Talia was a very special mare, older, and she was from the Shrine line, which is very rare. She was had that matriarchal line intact. When I say intact, it means that she maintained that mitochondrial line to Shrine, a foundation mare. And Lilty, because she's a filly, she also inherited that. So she had that Shrine line passed to her. So she's a special line, a special mare, and she basically, being the oldest mare and the oldest horse that we had, was established with being the first horse registered as registered under the Caspian Horse Breeders Association. So she's like the initial horse for that registry. And so this award seemed fitting. It's sort of like we went through a lot of effort to make sure that Talia and Lilty were able to get past the foaling and thriving, because Lilty was so frail, very much like Bucephalus here. She had trouble getting up. She was very skinny, and we had questions if she was a dummy foal as well. But she eventually got on her feet. We gave her syringes of milk, and we were there for her. And without us, we think that she would have perished. So in a way, Bucephalus is a reminder of that. He also had a very critical moment here where he wasn't getting up, he wasn't vigorous, and maybe it's because it was cold, we don't know for sure. But now he's standing and he's on his feet and he's nursing and he's doing well because we're here for him. Sorry, Shauna, I know this is a lot to try to CC. I just feel like it's necessary for me to make a pitch every once in a while because I'm just so tired all the time and I don't really know exactly what to do. But I know that I have my followers who are supportive, at least in the background, and then I just wonder what's the next move. We definitely wanted a filly because fillies are very important, but it never hurts to have a really nice colt. So he's got a half-brother who's also black. We have his nephew who's black. And black seems to be more popular of a color, which will be more visible and help the horses be seen. And while we didn't necessarily breed the two for color, I was breeding these two together because I was looking for diversity. And yes, I knew color was a chance, but it was a small chance. We just got lucky. And it's being lucky for the first time because I know that there was a chance to have black foals born before, but we would get bay, we would get chestnut, and those horses are great today. So the nice thing about having a nice colored horse, though, is that it just makes people more aware that you catch people's eye. People wouldn't really know that much about the Akelteke, for example, if that one smoky cream picture doesn't keep getting circulated through the internet. It's like, wow, look at that horse. I'm checking the time. I have to go to work in 2 minutes, so I'm going to leave you guys. Successful foaling. Really sorry we didn't send out an alert. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you, Ozzy, for calling me and letting me know what happened. Was able to remove the placenta. I think Taylor has already checked it, or at least we'll check it soon, but it looks like nothing was retained. When I pulled it up, it looked like one piece, and there wasn't any tears. I didn't look at it that thoroughly. All of our effort went to the Colt and trying to ensure that he could get up and nurse. That's another critical thing. Now we're going to be watching for the meconium. If you want to stay tuned in, please let us know when you watch him if he starts to poop and if he has any troubles, because then we can get an enema and help him with any blockage from the meconium. So that's basically the next phase. And I got to go to work, so I appreciate everyone. Thank you for contributing, supporting the Caspian, supporting our farm. I need to put myself together. This is just me straight out of bed, so I'll talk to you all soon.